While my parents were conservative, I was ambitious. While my parents were calm, I was aggressive. While I was angry with everything, my parents were perfectly fine with a lot of imperfection around them.
My generation is a generation of fighters, of risk takers, of believers.
New India is not actually New India.
We are at a crossroad.
We caught in a dichotomy of old ways and new ways.
I thought it was heading towards a revolution and a lot of things would change. But now again, the hopes have kind of turned into a little distant dream.
Don't turn into someone who's just asking to be fed information, rather go searching for it. I live for myself and I have my own space and my own little world.
Will I ever get to experience all of India? Will I ever get to see India in its truest colors?
I breathe here. I feel the life here.
So India is a scorpion, the sun sign. India is a place of extremes.
For the outside, it definitely has its flaws. So it's like one of those beautiful women with that one scar.
I want to see a foreigner to see India as a safe place, to see that the Indians are actually out there to show them the best of the city and not fleece them, not take advantage of them in any ways. And I'd obviously not want them to think that that Indians are very poor, and I don't want them to think that that everybody here is a rapist, or the fact that they that they have to be extra careful, and I don't want them to see dirt all around them. So I want them to see a beautiful India.
A Slumdog Millionaire. What kind of title is that? And that gets an Oscar. And they sort of started glorifying this struggle and slums, and somehow that became the aftermath. Once the movie came and went, that's what it was, the trail that it blazed, and it was the ashes that were left behind about what people thought about India.
I would want them to be seen as a progressive country rather than a regressive country.
India is again a place that reflects the old world and the new world. You will find one of the world's richest people living in a place like Mumbai, but not too far away from where they live. You will also find close to about 50 acres of slum area. You find doctors who have set up large institutions who are providing free cardiac care for anybody who can't afford even basic health care. You'll also find a politician who's out there to swindle money from the public.
When it comes to mindset, values and traditions, I think still remain it's the same ideology.
In a country like India, you can't really replace the old with the new.
Being Indian for me is being rooted. It means to be not a branch of the family, but one of the roots that actually keeps the family what it is, makes it what it is.
How can you be an adult and still be staying with your parents? Don't you want your privacy, be it financially or even emotionally? There are no breaking ties. I think that is a very important tradition which we all value as Indians.
I think we live our lives entirely on the lines of what our parents have actually told us.
What Indians used to think were values weren't values. Okay, those were just limitations. Those were ways to keep you tied to your mother's string.
I think the most difficult change which I see around in today's date is girls being able to attain their freedom, their independence. I think girls, even if they attain that freedom or even if they get it, we will really have to hold their hands and take them through that.
My parents have just seen one side of me, so it's not seen me in these growing up years. I told them that it's now difficult to come back and live. I've stayed out for very long, and I have my own way of living.
Moving out of the house was disrespecting your dad. I call it freedom.
They saw a very organized, obedient child in me. And the rebel that they see now is something that they cannot relate to.
The world that we live in outside our home is so different from the world that we live inside our home.
My father tells me that I'm incompatible with him. So which is true. So they have their own rules. I of course love them and I would meet them on weekends and everything, but it's difficult to me to go back.
I need to meet more people, and I need to meet different minded people. I need to meet maybe my aged people.
They let me do my own thing, so I love them more. They let me go on a trip, I love them more.
I want to, do as much as I can, things that I've never tried before.
Yeah, maybe I'll never dare to try smoking. Maybe drugs. So maybe not try that. Maybe not be very experimentative in my life. Maybe not try a threesome.
So I like to do things which scare me. Being, be able to step out in the middle of the night outside, be on your own. It scares me, but I want to do it.
I would definitely like to travel alone if I'm given a chance.
But I think it will definitely give me time to think about things that are important in my life, to be able to detach myself from everything else and think just about myself.
Solitude is something I value a lot. Being with myself when we travel is something that would really help me to do that. And it's been a dream.
I want to be a true world citizen.
Though I was born up north in Lucknow, I was here till 12th grade. And then I moved overseas. So I feel like I'm a bit of a child of the world.
So today, when we talk to our son, we're talking to him about living a life in all parts of the world.
You go to any other country, the person has a sense of belonging. I don't think we have a sense of belonging when it comes to India. So India lacks that. I was one patriotic soul. My patriotism has died.
The world is crowding in to all the cities and towns in the country. So this whole shift of people who were quite happy and settled with their simple village life, but who have seen this carrot dangling and want to chase that city dream of earning more money and having a better life. I think it is a combination of factors which is making people question their existence in the rural life, and why can't we just have a shift to a better town which is more equipped to handle crisis, which will give us more opportunities to earn a better living, which will give us that security that come rain or no rain, we'll still get our food at the end of the day.
I think I read somewhere that India is where the villages are. A big bucket list come a project that I have for myself is to travel the length and breadth of the country.
Whatever I've talked about as to where the people are shallow or lacking or hypocrisy or everything, you pick a guy who's well traveled, he'd not have any of that. And he's seen a lot.
What does it mean to be an Indian? You should have the power to be able to absorb different cultures.
In India, it's a chaos. It's actually the Mumbai railway station is nothing compared to the chaos we live in, because there is nothing that binds us together. There is no one thought process.
The thing that unites us can also be the thing that divides us.
I don't think we are connected enough.
I think the biggest cause of divide, I in my personal opinion, I think would be religion, because although India is a democratic country, there is simmering intolerance. People tend to get defiant about their own religion, and they see themselves as the protectors of their own religion. I mean, we have history to show that it has created numerous problems.
Sadly, religion and caste. When a government decides as a policy that a caste is minor and another caste is major, and provides one with facilities at the cost of the other, there's a seed of hatred and jealousy. It's like neo-colonialism. It's divide and rule all over again.
People have become more communal in their thinking. The tolerance levels of people have reduced.
You'll find at times people mocking someone else just because he doesn't speak the same language. He looks a little different.
The religious sentiments are sort of at their peak. So I guess that is something which I feel is very, very unfortunate.
Recently there was this some northeastern guy was murdered, in the cops beat him to death because he had a certain look, and I looked to him.
Of course there is a problem of discrimination, and when I say discrimination, it is not just discrimination in terms of religion, caste, creed. It is also discrimination in terms of the potential of human life.
India is also a place of people who care a lot and therefore they fight a lot, they rebel a lot.
A major part of the problem is when people started using religion as a means to their own selfish ends.
Why do Hindus and Muslims fight? Why can't we live in harmony with each other? Why do we still have this age-old caste system?
Religious strife is possibly the worst thing that can happen.
The Godhra riots that happened in Gujarat, my term was the worst thing that happened.
Where people started killing each other. Those are a clear-cut manifestation of the devil that is inherent in human life. This certain group of priests, a large chunk of Indian priests and different religious leaders misuse religion for their own ends. They instill fear in people's minds. And there was a very nice line in the film that these people in this country, they're not God-loving, they are God-fearing people. And I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that all the priests are bad, but I would say that a lot of them are truly, well and truly bad because they're making a living out of scaring people.
Love is a way of life. It's about looking at the other person as a human being.
There are bad people who are trying to misuse religion, who divide people in the name of religion, caste and creed, but they're also really good people. World peace is something which one can establish right at the place where you are. But true world peace starts from wherever you are, respecting that person right in front of you.
There is so much you need to work on your own self.
Indians are very hardworking people. They're very dedicated people.
There is struggle, but at the same time, they are ready to take on that struggle with a smile on their face. People are facing their challenges in everyday life, but still there is that spirit that is there in every Indian which hopes that there will be a better tomorrow. It's filled with hope. So I think the vibrancy comes from the hope.
Very frankly, you see the smile on my face. I'm happy saying it because I'm feeling it. That's the thing there's something that draws people to us. We're not one of the best or the richest country. We don't offer the best to anyone. But there's something that draws someone here. We have that power, that cash. And it's not the economy. It's not the government at all. Please, the government of India. It's not that. It's us. We make what the country is all about.
When I think of India and warmth in one context, I'd probably say that it's about how kind people are. They're always trying to tumble over to help another person.
Colorful, vibrant, too many people, overcrowded India. It's actually the same.
I think India is one of the most diverse countries you can ever be. You can ever be in your life.
If you're from the outside, it can be a little daunting, but it's the land of opportunity.
India is life. I feel so.